Good afternoon, or maybe good evening. I'm Steven, and this is my topic today. Film versus novel. Comparing space and place in corresponding scenes of the original and film versions from the mix of files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler. There are 5 parts I will discuss today, and let's begin with the introduction. As we read through half the semester, we are all familiar with this novel. However, there is a film adaptation of this novel which surprised me a lot, as it has been published for decades. In fact, there are 2 film versions of the novel. The first one, as is seen here, is the theoretically released version, which I believe sticks more to the original. And the other one, released in 1995, is a TV series featuring more modern elements. Definitely, I would choose the one more faithful to the book, as is seen here. Also, I attempt to put some sources into my essay. In this academic source, it talks about the art museum, and I agree with the author that in the past or present, museums are places where publicly represent beliefs about the order of the world and the individual's place within it, and that visitors can not only find the cultural values but also their own values when they enter a museum. So, this is my thesis statement. The essay will examine the relationships and connections between spaces and places in both the novel and the film, ultimately demonstrating that the museum is more than just a simple background setting. And here are my research questions. So the first one, how does the 1975 film adaptation visually represent space and place differently from the novel, and what effects do these differences have on the story's meaning and tone? And question number 2, how do cinematic techniques influence the viewer's perception of space differently than literary description does in the novel? For instance, lighting, camera movement, and sound. And the third question is, in what way does the Metropolitan Museum of Art function as more than just a setting in both the novel and the film? Finally, the last one, and the most important one, the key scenes I will analyze in my essay. In the novel, most of the narrative centers around their time in the Metropolitan Museum. There are numerous aspects that can be compared between the novel and the film. For instance, the exhibition, the wishing fountain, and even the bathroom lay hidden. The next one is the antique bed. I believe that to some extent there is a boundary between public and private space, and the protagonist, Claudia and Jamie, neglect it, which is also worth discussing. Furthermore, some lines describe that the children were playing something like hide and seek with the gods, which they challenged the authority unintentionally. As we discussed the exhibition, the most notable one might be Michelangelo's angel statue. This is the mystery that Claudia dedicates a great deal of effort into the novel. These scenes reflect the curiosity of the children, and they are also the turning point in which the protagonists decide to end their adventure. Eventually, they arrived at Mrs. Frankweiler's home. The children are not afraid of the adults, insisting on searching for the solution to the statue, particularly Claudia. The house seems to be a small museum, luxurious, mysterious, and somehow cozy. This is a place where they exchange the secrets, which are about the mystery of the angel statue and the adventure they had in the Metropolitan Museum. And this is my work cited so far. Thank you for listening, ladies and gentlemen. Wish you have a good day.